Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGenEd. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts, like the chart behind me, which is of Biora Therapeutics, ticker symbol BIOR. And so here in this video, we are going to be listening to their fourth quarter and full year 2023 earnings call, which happened yesterday on March 26th in the after hours or following trading of the day. And it does look like they got a miss on their earnings per share for quarter four of 2023, and the stock price has gone down about 6% in the after hours trading, having closed yesterday, March 26th, at a price of $1.33, having been up about 9% on the day. Like I said, in the after hours, coming down about 8 cents, trading in the pre-market around $1.25. So it doesn't look too good as far as that goes. But, I'm really not too concerned about their earnings per share or, the fact that the price is down a little bit after the close yesterday. Really just because I believe in the company. They're in trials right now, and I think that they just need to see those play out. And I think the results will be good. I think the company will do well. But, I, of course, could be wrong. It is quite possible that the company, could go under, as that is always a risk with biopharmaceutical companies. But, I do think that they have shown promising results so far. So I feel really good about the company. And also just looking at the chart, I think a 6% dip after a 9% run is not really that big of a deal. And also, looking at this candle that we have from, Tuesday, being up, as I said, 9%, and also the 618 from this Fibonacci retracement. So going from the low of 75.6 cents that was hit on January 22nd, and then running up to the high that was hit on February 28th, being at a price of $1.99, almost getting to $2 on that day. So from that range, the 618 or 61.8% retracement is at a price of $1.22.7. And so current price in the pre-market at $1.25 is above that level and is also above this downtrend that I have drawn here based on the high of November 9th and the high of December 28th. So from those two pivot points, we get that yellow downtrend. Price has attempted to get and hold above that level, having a few candles here trading above that, having one here trading above that, really getting a fake out. Does look like, this could be a double bottom that we've seen here, and that I do think that if price does pull back, perhaps to the yellow downtrend, that will be coming down to a price of around $1.20, $1.21, somewhere around there, maybe even a little bit lower. I do think that could be a test of that yellow downtrend that would then be acting as support, or hopefully acting as support, before the price does move higher, potentially getting back above 150 marked in orange, $1.70 marked by the 236, which, if I do recall, was just kind of an arbitrary level that I left up there, and then also getting back above 199, reclaiming $2 a share. So I do think there's a lot of hope for the stock, and I do think that any pullback that we do see is a discount, and I was actually expecting there to be more volatility, so it was a little bit disappointing. I had some orders placed lower, and they did not get filled, so that's a little disappointing. But, I'm just going to switch this over to probably not the minute time scale, just because they don't have too much action going on when the markets close. We'll see even the 5-minute. Yeah, let's see. 30-minute time frame. Let's look at that. There's just not too much going on. So it's probably just going to hang out around $1.25. But, what I think I'll do is I'll just leave it on, maybe even the hour will be. It's not even interesting on the hour time frame. So I think I'll probably just leave it. Let's see. I'll probably just leave it on the hour time frame, and if we start to see some movement, then I'll shorten that time frame. But yeah, the earnings call is only about 30 minutes long. I do have it all set up, so there's not really too much that we need to be, I don't know, hanging out for. They probably just didn't take questions. Probably didn't do Q&A. I imagine because they're in trials, and the answers will come out following the completion of the trial. But yeah, I do have, and I can actually show you my browser. This is what it looks like from their page. It's just this little Biora thing. It's 31 minutes and 17 seconds long. But I just have this view hidden, so you just have a clip of it. They're showing the title of it. But yeah, I'm just gonna switch my headphones over to the computer, so I'm listening to the call rather than myself, and then we can listen to it together. I hope you guys have a tea or coffee or something to enjoy this. I made myself a tea. Didn't have enough time for a coffee just yet. It's pretty early where I'm at. But yeah, so I've got that connected. I'm still plugged in here, or the mic's still on. And yeah, so I'll just start this just to make sure this sounds good. Then I'll turn my mic off and we can listen to it together in silence.
Welcome to the Biora Therapeutics fourth quarter 2023 financial.
Hopefully that sounds good. I'm just going to pause that, restart it, and then I'll turn my mic off so we can listen and enjoy together. If you have any questions for me, you can put them in the live chat, and I can either exchange with you there, or I'll just write on the chart so we can all view, what I'm thinking. But really, there's probably not too much dynamic stuff going on around the chart, which is a little disappointing, but it is what it is. And so anyways, I'll stop talking. I'll let you guys enjoy the call, and yeah, I'll share my thoughts after it. But generally, I feel pretty good about it. So let's see here.
Welcome to the Biora Therapeutics fourth quarter 2023 financial results call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. A brief question and answer session will follow the formal presentation. If anyone should require operator assistance during the conference, please press star 0 on your telephone keypad. As a reminder, this conference is being recorded. I will now turn the call over to Chuck Padala, Managing Director with LifeSci Advisors, Biora's investor relations firm.
Thank you, operator. Good afternoon and welcome to the Biora Therapeutics fourth quarter 2023 corporate update and financial results conference call. Joining me on the call are Adi Mohanty, Chief Executive Officer, Ariella Kellman, Chief Medical Officer, and Eric Desparbis, Chief Financial Officer. Before I turn the call over to Mr. Mohanty, I'd like to remind you that today's call will include forward-looking statements within the meaning of the federal securities law, including, but not limited to, the types of statements identified as forward-looking in our quarterly report on Form 10-K that we plan to file in the next few days, and our subsequent reports filed with the SEC, which are available on our website in the investor section. These forward-looking statements represent our views only as of the date of this call and involve substantial risks and uncertainties, including many that are beyond our control. Please note that the actual results could differ materially from those expressed in the forward-looking statement. For a further description of the risks and uncertainties that could cause actual results to differ materially from those expressed in the forward-looking statements, as well as risks related to our business, please see the company's periodic reports filed with the SEC. With that, I'll now turn the call over to Adi Mohanty, CEO of Biora Therapeutics. Adi?
Thanks, Chuck, and thank you everyone for joining us. The fourth quarter capped a transformational year for Biora. We made excellent progress with both our platform technologies as we continued our strong execution. The NaviCap platform continues to hit its milestones. As forecasted, we achieved clearance of our IND by the FDA, and we initiated our BT600 clinical trial, which we believe to be the first clinical trial in the U.S. for an ingestible drug-device combination. I'm also pleased to see the progress with our BioJet platform. We'll talk more about BioJet a bit later. But first, I'm joined today by our Chief Medical Officer, Ariella, who will share an update on our BT600 clinical trial. Ariella?
Thank you, Adi. I'm happy to be here and to speak with you all. Patients with ulcerative colitis, or UC, continue to have significant unmet needs and research shows that the inability to achieve high enough levels of drug in colon tissue with current treatments is a barrier to better efficacy. Our goals are to improve efficacy by precisely delivering drug to the colon with our NaviCap device, thereby achieving increased drug concentration in colon tissue with potentially less systemic toxicity due to lower drug levels in the bloodstream. As you know, we previously conducted 4 separate device function studies in humans, confirming that NaviCap is able to bypass the upper gastrointestinal tract, detect the colon, and precisely deliver payload into the colon. Our ongoing phase 1 study is the first clinical trial of our NaviCap device platform in combination with active drug. We initiated our BT600 clinical trial in January. It is a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled, single and multiple ascending dose clinical study. Its objectives are to evaluate the safety and pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics, including effects on colon tissue, of BT600 when administered orally in healthy adult volunteers. The study consists of 2 parts. The first is a single ascending dose, or SAD, comprised of 24 participants receiving BT600, which is NaviCap in combination with a proprietary liquid formulation of tofacitinib at 5 milligram or 10 milligram doses or placebo. This portion of the trial has now been completed, and I'm happy to share those results with you today. We intend to present the full data in future publications and scientific forums. We're excited about the single-dose data. It's consistent with what we expected in terms of pharmacokinetics and safety. BT600 was well tolerated. The pharmacokinetic data show that BT600 functioned as intended and designed. Specifically, devices opened in the colon and released drug at times that we predicted in human device function and animal studies. All administered devices containing active drug showed corresponding systemic absorption. This indicates that every NaviCap device released and delivered drug in every study participant. There is evidence of anatomically targeted delivery in the colon. Measurable tofacitinib in blood was first observed at approximately 6 hours, with maximal concentrations at approximately 8 hours post-ingestion. This is what's intended with NaviCap, and it's different than what is seen with conventional oral tofacitinib, where maximal blood concentrations occur at 30 minutes to an hour after ingestion. This suggests that drug delivery and absorption occurred in the colon as opposed to the upper gastrointestinal tract. Further, dose proportional pharmacokinetics were observed, with consistently lower plasma drug concentrations with the 5 milligram dose than the 10 milligram dose. Tofacitinib plasma levels were approximately 3 to 4 times lower than are seen with conventional oral tofacitinib at the same doses, confirming results from previous animal studies with BT600. The pattern of plasma levels over time suggests passage of drug through the colonic tissue into systemic circulation, indicating that we might expect to see elevated colon tissue levels. These data are what we hope to see, with more drug being delivered in the colon and a reduced amount in the blood. We are also pleased with the performance of the device, with what appears to be all devices functioning as expected and adding to the growing body of data on NaviCap device performance. This is single-dose data, and we look forward to confirming and expanding on these findings with the multiple dose portion of the study. The multiple ascending dose, or MAD, cohort is comprised of 24 participants receiving BT600 at 5 milligram and 10 milligram doses of tofacitinib or placebo, with once daily dosing for 7 days. This is half of the daily dose for conventional tofacitinib, which is normally dosed twice daily. In addition to regular blood samples, we will also be obtaining colon tissue biopsies at the end of the study. Dosing for the MAD portion of the study is currently underway, and I can confirm things are progressing well, and we're pleased with the execution of the study so far. We anticipate having final study data, which includes both the SAD and MAD portions, including data on effects in colon tissue toward the end of the second quarter. Adi, at this time, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thanks, Ariella. The data we're seeing so far are truly outstanding, which isn't a surprise to us, but is very gratifying as we work to prove the NaviCap platform's potential to create a new treatment paradigm for IBD. As Ariella mentioned, our NaviCap technology can potentially increase tissue concentration while reducing systemic exposure, which is what we're aiming to demonstrate at the conclusion of the current trial. We believe this will lead to better outcomes for patients suffering from ulcerative colitis. So far, our clinical trial has demonstrated that the NaviCap device has functioned as intended by delivering drug precisely in the colon, illustrating the potential for our platform beyond the current tofacitinib payload delivery. The data suggest the potential to achieve greater concentration of drug in the colon tissue compared with conventional methods. We believe this will lead to improved patient outcomes. We also saw that blood concentration of tofacitinib absorbed through the colon was substantially lower than the conventional treatment. This could reduce toxicity for patients and open the door to combination therapy in UC. In addition to the anticipated conclusion of our clinical trial, we're also looking ahead and actively planning a study in UC patients during the second half of 2024. The purpose of this study is to confirm plasma and tissue pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics in UC patients, and to inform our plans for future trials. Although KOLs have confirmed that healthy volunteer data on blood and tissue are fairly representative to that in UC patients, we want to proceed to trials in UC patients quickly and maintain an accelerated pace of development. While we're focused on clinical execution for NaviCap and the BT600 program, our team also continues to increase the strength of our intellectual property portfolio for both our platforms. We believe we hold the most comprehensive IP portfolio for drug delivery using ingestible devices, with over 100 granted patents and over 100 pending applications across our two platforms. Recent wins included a patent addressing anatomically targeted delivery of JAK inhibitors to the GI tract. This patent directly supports our BT600 program, which involves delivery of a proprietary formulation of tofacitinib, a JAK inhibitor. We also received notice of an important new patent for our BioJet platform, which broadly covers key jet parameters for liquid jet delivery of a drug to the GI tract. Between this and our existing IP portfolio for the BioJet platform, I think we can say that we invented and we own liquid jet delivery to the GI tract. We continue to make excellent progress with the BioJet platform. Liquid jet delivery is the foundation of this platform. It's designed to achieve oral delivery of large molecules using a small capsule that, once swallowed, delivers a stream of liquid drug into the wall of the small intestine, where it can be absorbed into systemic circulation. We believe the BioJet platform can provide an alternative to needle-based delivery of complex molecules. It could also enable those molecules to more efficiently reach the liver, which is difficult with other oral delivery methods. Over the past few quarters, we've made strong progress in assessing both our own as well as collaborators' molecules with the BioJet device. We have optimized benchtop systems that enable rapid iteration with our animal studies, enabling faster assessment of molecules and formulations, which has made us more efficient in our development. We successfully performed animal studies with peptides, antibodies, and oligonucleotides and achieved bioavailability in excess of 20% compared to IV infusion with our first-generation device. As a reminder, the performance target that is considered commercially viable by us and our pharma collaborators is around 15% compared to IV. In December, we announced a new research collaboration with a large pharmaceutical company. We recently completed animal studies with their molecule, and we expect to receive the data from that study in coming weeks. While we execute on collaborative molecules, we also continue to enhance our core BioJet platform. We have completed further animal studies over the past few months that demonstrate even better bioavailability in the 30 to 40% range for a peptide candidate semaglutide, as well as with adalimumab, our antibody candidate. We'll be sharing more details of the data at an upcoming conference in June. We believe we're in an excellent position with the BioJet technology, which has a number of competitive advantages. Its ability to achieve category-leading bioavailability of complex molecules, its ability to deliver existing liquid formulation without complex reformulation, its ability to deliver large payloads in the multi-milligram range, and its potential to enable liver-targeted delivery of large molecules. With the broad applicability of this technology, we continue to see interest from potential pharma partners. Our goal in the near term remains to get a more enhanced partnership this year with either our current collaborators or others. We're making good progress on that front and continue to see even more interest from potential partner companies. To summarize our anticipated milestones. For our NaviCap platform, we await the conclusion of our BT600 clinical trial in the U.S., and we expect the execution of the MAD portion to be completed during Q2. We anticipate receiving final SAD/MAD data during Q2, and we plan to share top-line data from the study as quickly as possible. We also plan to initiate a clinical study in UC patients during the second half of 2024. For our BioJet platform, we anticipate data from the recent animal study with our large Pharma 3 collaborator during Q2, and we expect to share an update on some of our recent animal studies at an upcoming conference. We continue to progress toward our goal of an enhanced partnership in 2024. With that, I'll now turn the call over to Eric for a review of our financial results and capital market activities.
Thanks, Adi, and good afternoon, everyone. We had a number of important capital market activities since our last call. I'll first cover our financial results and then provide more background on the positive evolution of our balance sheet. Operating expenses during the fourth quarter were $13.3 million, which was more aligned with our normal expected run rate compared to the prior quarter when we had a one-time stock-based compensation non-cash charge related to vesting of employees' restricted stock units. Excluding stock-based compensation expenses, operating expenses were $11.8 million during the fourth quarter, with continued investment in device development, preclinical, and clinical activities. To break this down further, G&A expenses in the fourth quarter were $6.3 million, excluding stock-based compensation expenses, while R&D expenses in the fourth quarter were $5.5 million, also excluding stock-based compensation expenses. Our core OpEx spend remains focused on our R&D programs, execution of our clinical development with NaviCap, and preclinical work on BioJet with our pharma collaborators. Net loss was $15.4 million for the 3 months ended December 31st, 2023, also more in line with our expected run rate compared to the third quarter, which included non-cash charges for stock-based compensation expense and large non-cash charges attributable to the convertible note exchange we implemented in September 2023. We also made substantial progress during the fourth quarter in our ongoing efforts to eliminate activities and spend associated with legacy matters, which still represented more than 30% of our G&A cash spend in Q4. Those efforts culminated recently with the monetization of our investment in Enumera Molecular, generating $3 million in non-dilutive capital. We also reached an agreement in principle to resolve one of the company's legacy securities litigation matters, and we are confident about the potential of any remaining legacy issues having minimal impact on Biora going forward. Moving on to a capital structure. As a reminder, we had made a substantial step forward during the third quarter by reducing our convertible note balance by $50 million through a note exchange agreement. I had provided guidance during our last call that we were making progress in further reducing our remaining notes balance. We executed well on this front, and we're very happy to announce in December a convertible note exchange, which also brought $17 million in new capital to Biora. In total, we reduced outstanding notes by more than $80 million in 2023, a 75% reduction of the company's net debt in 2023 alone. In accordance with GAAP, we will be reflecting in our balance sheet other items beyond the actual outstanding balance of the notes, including derivative and warrant liabilities and future interest payables. So we invite investors to read notes 6 and 7 to our financials when we file our 10-K to highlight the actual reduced notes principal balance at the end of 2023, which went down from $132 million to approximately $51 million during that period. The substantial reduction in notes outstanding and new capital investment from large institutional investors demonstrates continued support for our programs. In fact, we announced earlier in March a third note exchange combined with new capital investment, bringing total new institutional investment into Biora through these exchanges to $19.8 million over the last 4 months. We truly appreciate this commitment from our investors, and we want to highlight the significant equity component of these transactions, which shows their acute focus on the potential value of our stock. We believe this series of transactions sets us up nicely for success ahead of important clinical data and the development of future potential partnerships with pharma. With that, I will now turn the call back over to Adi.
Thanks, Eric. We're excited to start the year with the great early data from our BT600 trial and are focused on continuing a strong clinical execution to complete this trial. From the BioJet platform, we're focused on progressing towards partnerships this year. We look forward to providing further updates as we continue to achieve our milestones. Operator, we're now ready for questions.
Thank you. We'll now be conducting a question and answer session. If you'd like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. A confirmation tone will indicate your line is in the question queue. You may press star 2 if you would like to remove your question from the queue. For participants using speaker equipment, it may be necessary to pick up your handset before pressing the star key. One moment, please, while we poll for questions. Thank you. Our first question is from John Vandermosten with Zacks. Please proceed with your question.
Great. Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. Wanted to first say congratulations for the huge reduction in debt. That's a great change. And wanted to pose the first question about just the next steps for BT600. Now that you've shown good PK and PD numbers, and understanding that the underlying drug tofacitinib is already approved, what do you expect to see to get this in front of the FDA for approval? Following the second half study in the UC patients.
Well, thanks for the question, John. Before we get to what we want to put in front of the FDA, what we should say is we're really excited about what's coming up very, very near future that we talked about in this coming second quarter. So I'll let Ariella talk to you a little bit about the MAD portion of our data, and then we'll come back to what's next. Go ahead, Ariella.
Okay, thanks very much, Adi. So we're looking forward to the results from the MAD portion of the phase 1 study, and we expect to have those by the early summer, so end of Q2. And what we expect to see there is, again, pharmacokinetic data, but this time over a multi-dose course, so daily dosing for 1 week. And we hope to confirm a same or similar pharmacokinetic profile, which confirms that the NaviCap is functioning as designed and delivering in the colon. We also are expecting to receive data on colon tissue, including colon tissue concentration from biopsies, as well as histology data for safety and pharmacodynamic data from the colon tissue. So we're looking forward to that.
Thanks, Ariella. So John, I think, once we get this, we will know a lot more. Of course, we're keen to move this as fast as possible, but it's really great to get the data we do have now, right? I mean, this is what we've been looking for. Can you get more drug in the colon and less in the blood? So it's fantastic we're getting that. People know tofacitinib, has been used so many patients, it works. So yes, we have approaches we're going to look at, but let's look at this data that's coming up now.
Sounds good. And also wanted to look at just the larger environment of getting biologics or larger molecule drugs delivered orally. We've done some research on our side showing about $300 to $400 billion in revenues from biologics, and then of course there's the $100 billion number that I think Goldman put out there about the potential for GLP-1 agonists. So there's a lot, there's a lot of products that could potentially be used this way, and there's a lot of benefits of that, which we all know about. What is keeping sponsors back from really jumping on board with this and moving it forward as fast as possible? What do they want to see before executing, I guess, something that has money behind it?
So you're talking about our BioJet platform, which absolutely is designed to be able to deliver these biologics. So I wouldn't say our difficulty has been we are already engaged with several large pharma companies. I can't tell you a lot of details. I've talked about this in the past because they want to stay quiet until they get to a certain spot where they're willing to share what discussions end up resulting in. So we are absolutely fully engaged in several conversations. I think partnerships are hard to predict in terms of timing, but we feel pretty good about the way these engagements and conversations have gone that we could likely do something this year. So we keep saying, yeah, this year we're going to get to a partnership with somebody. And I know that that's kind of hard to say because we don't publish the relationship and what they're looking for, and we're not allowed to. But what we can say is the engagement's great, fully involved. We're doing a lot of work. It's progressing, and hopefully we'll be able to share more fairly soon.
Great. All right. Thank you, Adi. I appreciate it.
As a reminder, if you'd like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Our next question is from Julian Harrison with BTIG. Please proceed with your question.
Good afternoon. This is Rayon for Julian. Congrats on the progress and data so far, and thank you for taking our questions. We had a couple on BT600. The first is, if adequate PK is confirmed in this final SAD-MAD data expected in 2Q, would you be open to studying or developing any other payloads for IBD where optimized PK in the gut could lead to more efficacy?
Fantastic question. So you do know, or maybe you don't, that we keep talking about we have our own version of adalimumab. We've done some work with it. Certainly, we know that there are certain other molecules we could use this approach with, and we could quickly turn to that. Now, we don't want to jump ahead. We do have internal know-how, availability of molecule, and ability to expand fairly quickly, but we're not going to jump. We're going to get this data and have the ability to do all those things either by ourselves or with somebody. So yes, opportunities will start to really grow very quickly in the next few months as we get this data.
Great, thanks. We had another one on potential use. I know you touched on potential use in combination therapies earlier, but could you elaborate on potential positioning in the current UC landscape given BT600's preliminary safety profile and how this might influence the target population for enrollment in a future phase 1B?
Okay, so it's a little tougher to talk about the um, combination therapy landscape. There are, as you know, some trials already happening where people are starting to try multiple molecules in this patient population. Because here's the core issue, right? Like almost all of these drugs end up um, working for 20 or 25% of the population, and the remainder, like two-thirds, don't have anything. And so people are trying these combinations. The biggest issue often holding people back is toxicity, and toxicity with each individual drug, and then when you compound it with multiple drugs. So clearly having a potentially lower toxic or toxicity or low level provides the opportunity to try multiple things along with BT600. So we have had some preliminary conversations, but it's a bit early to start telling you exactly what kind of combinations we could use. We do see the potential for BT600 to move much sooner than where currently tofacitinib is in terms of where it's used in second, third line therapy. And so the opportunity is going to be much larger as we go forward. We will know more. It's a little early to tell you that. In terms of affecting the selection of the patients, I'll let Ariella tell you a little bit about our current thinking of potentially what kind of patients we're thinking about with phase 1B, but that'll evolve as we learn more from our MAD. Go ahead, Ariella.
Got it.
Okay, thanks very much, Adi. So we are planning a study in UC patients during the second half of 2024, and we should be able to provide more details in the coming months. But considering our goals for BT600, which are higher colon tissue concentrations, which we know from data across multiple treatments can lead to greater inhibition of the JAK-STAT pathway at the site of disease and are associated with better efficacy in patients with UC. We think that the first population that should be studied are patients with moderate to severe ulcerative colitis, and that's what we're targeting for a UC trial.
Got it. Thank you. Very helpful.
Thank you. There are no further questions at this time. I'd like to hand the call back over to Adi Mohanty for any closing comments.
Thank you all for joining us. We're really excited with our progress and look forward to coming back and keeping everybody updated. Thank you.
Thank you all once again for joining us for the fourth quarter 2023 financial results call. We are excited about the progress. Have a good evening, everyone. This completes our call.
Hopefully you all found that enjoyable. I found it nice, informative. It makes me excited for what is to come in the year. Really just, in Q2, I think that we'll be getting some good news regarding results from, let's see, I believe it's phase 2, the MAD portion, the multi-dose portion of their study. So I think that sounds really good. And then also, they're doing tons of trials, going to be doing trials through the end of the year, it sounds like, which is probably not too surprising. And then also partnerships coming up. And yeah, so I just think that there's a lot of great potential with this company. So I'm just really excited. And one thing that I was thinking about when looking at the chart, there's not too much going on during the after hours pre-market and stuff. But one thing that I was thinking, maybe it's not really supported that much looking at it this way. I guess when I was looking at it on the, 1 hour time frame, it's like this big red candle down, and then we get this green one up, and then consolidation. And so I was thinking, well, it's nice that this consolidation follows a green candle. Maybe that's a bull flag. But the reality is, this is, big red candle, consolidation. And really, we're just going to have to wait for the market to open because I don't think it's going to be too dynamic or anything you know, it's just hanging out at $1.25, so it's really not too exciting. But yeah, I mean, this to me, or at least has become, a long-term hold. I continue to sell covered calls on a weekly basis. Most of them are at a strike of $2.50. That would be in profit for me. But I don't want to sell at $2.50. I think that this has potential to go up a lot. Let's see, looking at the chart here, this is $2. That's nothing. I think, yeah, I mean, maybe $8, maybe $5, just, kind of arbitrary, but there's this gap here around 555.5, and then this line here at 808. Also, this peak here right around $7.70, peak here around $6.70. So I imagine that once we break this, really, I guess 265, that was a significant level back here. I remember I had actually trimmed some of my position back then to, basically sell at a loss and then buy back lower. I did that. That worked out well. Avoided a wash sale because I waited 30 days before buying back. But yeah, I guess near term, really, not even necessarily near term, but maybe by the end of the year, this peak here at $6.70, that's crazy. It just seems like there's a lot of great potential for this to go up, assuming things go well. Results are, what's expected, if not better. And the partnerships are what's expected, if not better. And really, the partnerships just seem like rumor right now. We don't know. They're big companies. I suspect that news will be greeted with some violent moves to the upside. But, we'll have to wait and see. But anyways, that was, let's see, a much shorter call than I expected. Typically, they're around an hour. I think partly because they only had 2 questions or 2 questioners, both having multiple questions. And yeah, I've never listened to a biopharmaceutical company's earnings call. Very interesting to hear from the chief medical officer. And yeah, like the stuff that they're doing, I do have a background in science, but not in biological or medical science. And what they're talking about is very easy to understand. It's a device that basically scans the body as it goes through and is able to dose in the exact location that it's supposed to, rather than when you take a pill that just dissolves as you ingest it. My understanding is that gets absorbed by the bloodstream within 30 minutes to an hour, whereas this approach with the NaviCap technology is able to dose in the colon, which is about 8 hours after ingestion, as far as the digestive tract goes, or that process. And so, that just seems like there isn't going to be just application as far as ulcerative colitis goes. There's going to be application for dosing in different parts of the digestive tract, or maybe looking at if there's a heart disorder or something, lungs, something that's not related to the digestive tract, but dosing that drug, whatever it is, in a different part of the body. Let's say half an hour you're absorbing it up here. I guess that would probably be better for things going on in the chest. But if you have a delayed absorption or targeted release that's lower in the digestive system, in your stomach, that could be, I would think, have a lot of great application beyond just the digestive tract. So I'm really excited for them and the year. I'm not anxious about what the price is. My shares are basically locked in, and I'm fine with that. And I'm happy to buy on dips when they are dips. I'm wondering if price will be going back to $1. I was expecting more volatility around earnings. And so what we see, let's see, on the hour time frame. Yeah, I mean, this is nothing. This pullback, it's nothing. Still above the 618, which is $1.23 basically, being in the pre-market at $1.25. So, yeah, I mean, I just think things look great. Things sound great. I think that we're going to have good news in Q2, in the second half of the year as well. It just seems like they're set up for a lot of great news to be coming out. So I think that we're in a great position here, right around $1 a share. I think a year from now we're going to look back and say, man, I can't believe I could have whatever number X'd my money. So, yeah, and also being, invested in a company that seems to be not only developing important drugs, but also drug applications and technology behind those applications, or deliveries, I should say. So, I'm just stoked about it. I hope you guys are too. But since that is, and was a shorter earnings call, I am going to close this, and then I'll put timestamps on so you all can listen to the CEO, the CMO, Chief Medical Officer, as well as the CFO, and the few questions that were asked. But, with that being said, I'm just going to throw this up here because if you do enjoy the content that I produce for the channel, make sure you like the videos and always share your thoughts, whether in the comments down below or live chats when I do the live streams. Always doing ticker request lives on Sunday evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern. I will be doing it this Sunday, even though it's Easter. Still plan on doing the live stream then. Get us ready for the week ahead. And starting, I believe the second week of April, I will be able to do evening live streams during the week. I'll probably rotate between Tuesdays and Thursdays and Wednesdays, just to kind of give a balance to that, so we're not oversaturating, the week with TRLs. And then once we get back into earnings season, in a month, I guess, I'll start doing more earnings calls again. But this might be my last one for a little while, unless there's a vote for me to do a Rumble one, which I believe Rumble is happening today in the after hours. So maybe I'll do that again tomorrow morning, but we'll have to see. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great Wednesday trading. And yeah, just a great Wednesday. For me, this is basically my Thursday. I'm looking forward to not being at work on Friday. But yeah, anyways, before continuing to ramble, I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much for joining. Hope you guys have a great day.